It's a new year, which is always exciting, and in a new year, we always see lots of people coming to therapy, which is great. In this video, though, we're going to talk about 3 specific things that you can work on that don't require therapy, because not everything needs therapy. So thanks for joining us, and stay tuned. Any stories shared in this podcast have had names and details changed for the confidentiality of clients. Any resemblance to someone real is coincidental. Hello everybody, thank you for joining us for today's episode. Today we are going to talk about all the things you can do that don't need therapy. I think we're probably biased because we're therapists and we talk lots about all the good things that therapy can do. But maybe in counter to that, I think there are a lot of things people can do without therapy on their own that they feel like, I don't know, that they should seek therapy out before, when that really maybe not necessary.
You don't need therapy for everything.
Yeah.
That's just not the reality. So today we'll share 3 different things that you can do without therapy to have better mental health, better relationships, just better overall, right? And so the first one that I would say is coping skills. You actually can learn a lot of coping skills without going to therapy. And a lot of times I think that people think you have to go to therapy to learn that, but you really don't. There are tons of places that you can learn different skills. And by coping skills, I mean like different things that you can do to take care of your own emotions and reactions. So, here in therapy, lots of times we do teach people things like, hey, when you start to notice yourself get really upset, here's something you can do to help yourself feel better. That's great, and you can learn that in therapy, but you also don't have to be in therapy to learn it.
I always think about the progressive muscle relaxation. That's like a really popular therapy exercise or coping skill that we teach. And I remember when I learned it in school, I was like, I already learned this. I know this. When I was like probably 15, I downloaded this app on my phone that was supposed to like guide me through something to help me sleep, because I just like really struggled to sleep. And I did it every night for months and months and months, to the point like I didn't need the app and I could just do it myself. And to this day, still use it to fall asleep. A coping skill I learned having never gone to therapy that was helpful to this day.
Right. Tons of places you can learn coping skills.
One statement, do not put me on a soapbox. The idea behind a coping skill, though, is that you have to practice it. It's one thing to Google it. It's one thing to read about it. It's one thing to think, oh, that would be a really good thing. You actually have to do it. And I find that we as people are really sucky at doing behavioral things. A coping skill will be effective if you do it. Don't just read about it. Don't just think about how cool it would be. Like, actually do it.
Yeah,
Right.
I think the internet is full of lots of great information, and sometimes we get caught up in that and lose the value of like going outside and doing something and just trying it.
Yeah.
Right.
I always knew you liked to camp, be in the great outdoors.
It's been a while since I've camped, but outside could be out my front door, talking to my neighbor.
Fair enough.
All right, so second thing, so we talked a little bit about coping skills. The next thing that I would say you can learn without having to go to therapy is emotional stability, right? So there are a lot of things that you can do to set up your life so that you can have quite a bit of stability, even if you don't work through any of your issues, right? And I don't think that people maybe realize that that's a possibility. And again, a lot of these things are things that we talk about a lot. We talk about a lot in therapy, but are also kind of just general knowledge sort of things like, hey, eat some vegetables and go to sleep at a decent time and fill your life with some good things.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things you can do to make yourself emotionally stable without having to go to therapy.
I think sometimes people come to therapy expecting like the magic bullet that's going to like, here's how you become emotionally stable. This is the secret. No one ever told you. But it really is things that you probably already know you should be doing. Getting some exercise, getting good sleep, eating whole foods, not eating too much junk, getting some sunlight, drinking water. All these basic things that you already know you're supposed to be doing is, I feel like, a majority of what a therapist would tell you to do to like increase your ability to tolerate distress.
Right. And there are different skills and things that help along the lines of some emotional stability too. But again, this is something you can work on outside of therapy.
Routine.
You always love that one.
No wonder Josh is so emotionally stable.
I don't know about that. Yeah, and the one thing that I would want to add to this is obviously routine, but make the changes slow if you have to, right? We're at the new year. The New Year's resolution is always to do all of the things. But the reality is, why don't you just start with sleep? Go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time every day. Start with that, see how it goes for a week. Then incorporate salads for lunch and going to the gym at the crack of dawn. But don't do it all at once. It's an easy way to burn out.
Or never do salads. That's kind of my approach.
I like that one too. No salads.
Okay, how about a third thing? What's something else that people can do without having to go to therapy?
You look at me because you're trying to put me on a soapbox.
I am.
And Jaden's just over there giggling. The third one I would say is work on enhancing social relationships. In a world, this is my opinion, in a world full of social media, I don't know that we social very well. And I think it's okay that social interactions are intimidating and they're anxiety provoking and they're overwhelming. But I think social connectedness could make a huge difference on our mental health. And you can do that without going to therapy.
You really can improve your relationships without going to therapy.
I really think it just requires a little bit of extra effort of getting out of where we're comfortable and like having social interactions in person. I think it's so easy to have like these parasocial relationships, like because you watch your favorite influencer every day or your favorite streamer or whatever, and it's so convenient to be able to talk to your friends online, and there's a place for all those things. But getting out of our comfort zone and putting in a little bit of extra effort to go out to dinner with your friends in person or just go hang out at their house for an hour or two, or those kind of things, I think go a really long way, where it gets really easy to be comfortable with just kind of having like text interactions or online interactions.
Yeah. So just to kind of recap, you don't need therapy for everything. And if you want to improve yourself, you can learn different skills to cope without going to therapy. You can learn some ways to be more emotionally stable without going to therapy. And you can improve your relationships without going to therapy. Therapy is great for lots and lots of stuff, but you don't need it for everything.
Very true. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Hope you have a happy new year, and we will see you on the next video.
Thanks.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. We've got other videos for you to check out and more exciting things coming soon. So thank you.